is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. My lights are shining too bright, I can already tell. Oh, my mic's not plugged in. Now it's plugged in. Good start for GRC. We got the Fed meeting out. Look how skinny I am. We got the Fed meeting out, coming out today, 2 p.m. Big deal for crypto traders. If you're a crypto degen trader like me, you better be paying attention. Just kidding, guys. But no, these rates are important because you can kind of get a flow of like for how the plebs deal with this stuff. And when I say the plebs, I mean the guys that have a bunch of money that don't care if they get 50% because they already got so much money, and sexless virgin loser, blah 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 blah. Crypto's the future, guys. We want to know what's going on in crypto. Ethereum is uber bullish. Ethereum's super bullish. I'm not saying like price action short term. Obviously, if the Fed pivots to 0.5, people are going to lose their mind. I don't think that's going to happen. If they pivot to 1, people are probably going to lose their mind too. 0.75 is what we're all ready for. Dow Jones is down big already today. S&P down big. NASDAQ down big today. And we'll kind of show everybody that as we go. I want to talk about this stuff. I want to say hi to the chat really quick. David, great to see you. BC in the Matrix, Melv Tony, Jordan Bradford, Lane Bounham, Blackwing, Paris Hudson, Swizzle, Stream Elements, bullish. I'm back. You guys notice any upgrades in anything? Just know that ain't me. That's bullish. So if you got a problem with something that's going on here, you go to bullish and he'll throw an elbow right in your face. So we're going to be talking NASDAQ, Ethereum. Zen Crypto did a 311%, and Sam mentioned that it still was holding. I never looked at it, but so maybe it is still holding to a degree. I kind of just I bought that bottom, also bought the Hedron bottom. So did I buy the ultimate Zen bottom in history? Yeah, probably. Did I also mint 199th first? I mean, it was right after the 200 click, so I was 201. Yeah, I did. Did I do it live? Yeah, I did. Has it been a good time with very low money that I needed to spend? Yeah. So I'm super stoked on Zen. All the haters, there's a lot of haters, and I love Hex too. Like what? But all the Zen haters are wrecked plebs that don't want anyone thinking about anything but what they're doing generally. So we're going to talk about the NASDAQ crypto bull market, bull run. Sam, it's getting hot. My toes are starting to boil. I can feel the pressure. And I say Q1 2022. I mean, Q1 2023 will be the start of the bull market. And I say the start, not like the end. So I say the start will be in Q1 of next year. So guys, let's get into it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd like to be wrong. I got money all over the place within crypto now, so we'll see what happens. We'll have a good time. We'll learn. Learning is critical, guys. The best guys, they always learn. They have no bias, and they learn. No bias, and they learn. You know what you do? You have bias, and you don't learn. That's important that you switch that around. And the people that watch this show daily, you get your non-biased view on the crypto market. We don't do feelings here, guys. We're not the feelings champions, guys. I'll be back. Crypto in the morning, DeFi proof. Sam's we got a lot to talk about. It kind of ignore whatever rants we go on today. You
already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stay. Got me some hedge and I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way.
DeFi proof.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Damn it. Oh, shoot.
What's good, bro? So you decided to pick up the bottom of Zen. You
I bought the
decided
bottom.
Is that lighting good there?
On ETH, though, I think it's important to say that I bought it on ETH, and I really don't speculate on Zen. I was speculating on ETH Pal, but I'm starting to not like ETH Pal as much for the Zenaniacs or whatever. So Sam, Sam, first, real quick, Sam, it's a beautiful day. It's midweek. My name's GymRatCrypto. This is my co-host, Sam STOLT. We have been going about 200 days straight live every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're covering crypto non-biased. How did we meet? I reached out to Sam as a youngster, like 6 or 7 years ago. I was probably like early 20s, 21 or 22. I can't even remember. But I reached out to Sam and I said, dude, you're smiling all the time and you're ripped and you like your life. Like, why, how do you do that? And I never asked him how to make money. I never asked him how to get girls. I didn't want to know that stuff. I wanted to know how to feel joy in my heart. Real, like not whether that was about girls or whatever. Like I just wanted joy. So I reached out to him, and then 6 years later, or 5.5 years later, I start talking crypto nonsense, and he's like, "Yeah, Elon, the Tesla nonsense, kind of, a little people know about it now, right?" So it's like it's kind of move, like, and here we are today, and we love studying. Sam, good morning.
Good morning. We have the Fed minutes later this afternoon, right? Not that it's going to be impactful generally for the populace, but it is not a bad idea to just at least have some of that information in your mind. Is it going to affect you directly? No. You're going to continue living your life, right? You're going to continue doing what you do. But it is interesting because
bro, it changes every metric, bro.
There's a lot of people who have money who pay attention to that shit. So
yeah, if 25% is going to change your investment situation a lot, like by millions and millions of dollars, yeah, you're going to be locked in on that. But like if you're like sharking Ethereum a little bit and Hex, like it ain't going to make a difference because it's just not that. It's not about that. Like that's trickle down, right? Like it trickles down from there, but it doesn't trickle down on like half-ass news, like real weak sauce, like long-term bearish news.
I wouldn't be surprised though if we do get a 3/4 of a basis point or a point move up.
That'd be goated.
And we have some really bearish news. Like I'm waiting for the bottom to drop out. Is that going to happen like after the elections? Like there's several things all taking place at the same time.
Real quick, Sam, I want you to talk about the elections because I always forget that part. Because you have been 5 years like in the weeds on that bullshit at least. Like, and I have 0 minutes because I just never. I was just young. Like when all of that, I'm 28. It's probably when you start paying attention. So tell people about the election, and really, I want to know, how does that change dynamics? How can that change dynamics, and how can that not change dynamics in some ways?
Well, the elections, if you lived in America or even slightly like had any access to the internet, you have understood what's taken place over the last couple of years. And I'm not saying that one side is better than the other side in one way or the other. It's just in this moment in history, it's primarily all coming from one side, right? The left. And the left is about to get their ass handed to them, assuming.
What does that mean, Sam? What does that mean?
That means that like in
a normal, like, what does that mean? Like you think, and I'm literally like piecing this together because I'm such a noob with politics. You think that the lefties are losing punching power, it sounds like. They still scream and bark and do all that stuff, but they had way high momentum for a minute. Like they were running it. Girls, if you cheat on your husband, everyone would just be like, right on, girl. Literally for like a few, it was literally like, I was just like, wow, it switched really hard. And I backed out of it, of course, being that I'm a pansexual and I don't feel any kind of,
it was more so
I don't feel any kind of gender kind of.
If you don't call me like the greatest human on earth, then they would be like cheering for me to shoot you, right? Like that was, except for like I had to shoot you with, telling other people to do it because I'm virtue signaling and I don't own guns, right? Like that's what was taking place. So
Yeah. No, it's important. It's important. It is important. The election and all funny notes is like, there is a level of like something has to be done somewhat properly. It's really not ever.
Democrats, right? You have the presidency, right? So you have the dude who calls himself the president there, right? Then you have the Senate, right? So last time I checked, the Democrats also had control of the Senate, right? So you've got that split up. So things will come through, they'll come through the House and then they'll go to the Senate and then they'll go to the president, right? So you have Democrats having the presidency, Democrats having the Senate, Democrats having control of the House, right? So they have the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency. This is going to shift, assuming there's not a shitload of cheating, right? So if this shifts,
could it shift Democrat and it ever be decent, or do they just play all their cards in one spot? Like, is there a way that it could shift Democrat but still be someone else with decent ideas?
Well, there's a migration away from the Democrat Party right now.
Yeah, there really is, dude. It's like I wouldn't
like quacks, like wackos, right? Like
I don't even converse with those people. I mean, yes, there's some fence riders that just want people to be happy, so they kind of pick Democrat because they think that represents happiness, but they don't really know the ins and outs, and that's okay. You don't have to. But what's important is freedom. Freedom is critical, and
one side is focusing more on the freedom, and this is something that we drastically need as a country. We need some fiscal responsibility, which just means like you don't need to be spending stupid money. Like that's when somebody says fiscally responsible, think of like you're making $60,000 a year and you're buying a $75,000 vehicle and a $400,000 house. And going out to dinner every week.
Zen crossed that 400%. Zen just crossed 400% on the 3-day, I think. Like, I was looking at like a nuanced chart from when I bought it, and it was some guys are messaging me right now off the chain. Like literally, everyone's just posting price charts of Zen in my messages. And I have not even woke up this morning. Literally, I slept for 12 hours, and I'm still in like a weird like fog from sleeping for so elegantly and getting so many sleep gains.
The benefit for crypto though, in all of this, the bigger the chaos that's taking place, the more people are going to jump into crypto, right? The more people are going to get into crypto, the more idiotic like policies that are put into place, the more people are going to get into crypto. So inevitably, if you like don't agree with what's happening right now, you can think of like the one side as helping crypto because the bigger blunders that they create, the more chaos and horrible policy decisions that they make, the quicker our bags go up and the faster and harder they're going to drive because of these poor decisions.
But we saw it, dude. We saw even a little bit of a head fake shimmy fade away from the Fed with their like news. If Ethereum starts going berserk, every Binance starts going berserk, Hex goes berserk, ETH-POW Hex goes berserk, everything goes berserk. Because someone is paying attention to that has much more money than you do. And me. I think, but I heard this is how it kind of goes. Now, this I want to talk because I'm not experienced in this. I heard this is how it goes. They do a little liquidity fake out when things are still kind of bearish to like get a little people involved and like test the liquidity, kind of see where we're at without really over leveraging. So I was under the impression that all of the pumps, except for Ethereum being like the stagnant deflation, were kind of just fluff. Right now, I think we have 2 quarters of doom, frankly, or a quarter of doom. What do you think, Sam?
If you look at the last 2 peak to trough, right, from the top of the bull market down to the bottom, it was over a year, right? The peak of Bitcoin was in November of last year. So when you look at that, that's only been a year. And the last 2 cycles, the bear market has been over a year. right? So when you layer on that back then, during both of those peak to trough moments in crypto, they were in economic expansion. GDP was growing rapidly, right? And money was very loosey-goosey, right? Well, now we have a different set of circumstances. Right? We're in a recession, potentially going into a depression, right? Because I expect inflation to potentially be very, very chaotic over the next couple of years. And you have fiscal tightening. So this could mean something that this draws us out. If you're using the history of peak to trough, right? You're like, okay, it was 72 weeks and 84 weeks or something like that, from the peak of the market down to the trough of the market in crypto. So say because of what's happening right now with geopolitical shit going on, we have very poor policy decisions and bumbling idiots in office, right? So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. So this could drag on for much longer than previous cycles. This could drag on for much, and I think the reason Ethereum has had, they were down at like 1,200 and now they're back up at 1,550 or something more. So I think that has to do with the bullishness just that's happening in crypto, and that we have so much Ethereum locked up, and it's deflationary now. People are starting to put this together, right? Ethereum's deflationary. A boatload of it's not even on the market yet.
Oh, it's super deflationary too. Like it's really deflationary. Like deflationary gets thrown around a lot. Pulse Dogecoin is deflationary, and I'm not saying Pulse Dogecoin isn't legit. I'm saying like dogs are the dogs that run around my house are deflationary, but no one's buying them. They're gonna, you know what I mean? Like they're, little shits. Like, so what I'm saying is deflationary doesn't matter, but Ethereum being deflationary, because when it was omega inflationary, people were buying the absolute god out of it. It went up to $4,600 per Ethereum. And it did a 5 to 15x of anything you could have put into Bitcoin at a simultaneous time. So again, it's important to remember, this is my opinion right here, right now. Nothing's even close to Ethereum. And I'm not talking about volume. I'm not talking about transactions, dollars per transaction. I just want you to remember that that's my statement. Nothing's coming close.
And you brought up a good point the other day. If you look at any other like side chain or layer 2 or anything like that, you have Ethereum traded on all these other chains, and it's generally in the top of the tokens that are traded on these other chains. And then you have the base layer of Ethereum that is also trading on there. So when we say deflationary, or that there's a boatload of tokens that are going to be locked up for a year, the demand is the thing that's going to drive the price. So if you remove some of the supply or potential supply to the marketplace, then what that means is there's, given an amount of demand that's going to be increasing as we progress forward each and every day, there's going to be more demand for Ethereum. But if the supply is going down and there's a boatload of it that cannot go to market, then that very bullish for the price of Ethereum. You've got it traded everywhere across the board.
I'm going to also say this other hot take in case someone, not really hot take, but in case someone wants to like record it or something. I think Zen could so easily do a 100x within the next 3 to 6 months. I would like to say 6 to 8 months, but I'm going to say 3. Hold on. I'm going to say 4 to 6 months. So I think it, like within the time frame of 6 months, like an asset with such little liquidity and so many different users playing around with it it just needs to get, and we're in Sam, I'm talking about Zen on Ethereum. And that's what I'm talking about. That's only what I'm talking about, by the way. When I don't speculate on anything except BNBP on Binance so far. I'm not saying that, and BNB, the native token. So that's all I got other than Hex, Hedron, Icosa, some stakes, and liquid. Now I have a bunch of liquid Zen. Now, Sam, it's fair to say that I was a little ahead of the curve for Zen. Is that fair to say?
Oh, we
So
were
I
on
might
top
have
of
had
it.
an idea about. I started to figure out the pre 100-day minting like within a couple hours. Like I could kind of get it in my head, but I did no 1-day mints. That I missed completely. Like I did not think about the 1-day minting, but I was like, hey, I'm going to do a ladder from 27 days to 75 days in here for on Ethereum. And I have a feeling that that was a good idea. And I have a feeling that the buy I just did yesterday on top of that. And then of course, when those mints end, I'm going long for the rest of them. So I think it's important. And just like the guy in the chat said, Sam, somebody said, I just sold some profits from Zen and now I have free Zen for life because it covered my gas fees for everything.
Oh, yes.
So now imagine the marketing. I just tweeted about, hey, I said the same thing because I had sold more than I had minted already. So I think that's fair for me to say too. I was like, hey, K for K, I made all my money back in Zen. Now I have free Zen for life. Win 0. And because I want to call these guys out, don't you forget about K for K. Don't you forget about all these guys that were not there to teach you the specifics. We're not there to guide you through them, to make the mistakes for you, but they were there to chill whatever baloney ideas they have for the future. Because and I'm sick of it, frankly. I gave it 2 weeks. I did my meditations. I took my Twitter off my phone. I'm gonna take these guys out if they keep pushing, and they're all hiding now, so I'll leave it alone. But like the whole point is intellectual integrity I need it in the space. I need it, and it's not here. It's just not here. Like there's like 7, 8 guys I can talk to, have a decent conversation with. Even John McCoy comes on here, calls everyone a freaking asshole, like a child. And I like John, but like John, you lost that argument because you acted like a child. And adults don't act like children. And I don't know. I couldn't understand a word they were saying either way. So I just know.
Did they get into it?
Oh, live.
Afterwards?
Oh, was that? No, but you know, he was kind of pushing on that, like being dumb. Like he kept saying like stuff was dumb and Elon's future dumb. Like, and I was like, bro, it's not dumb. Like, what are you talking about, dumb? I like John. I'm friends with Hex Hangout. So it's like, and he likes to take a punch. So he's not afraid to, like, for me, he calls me an idiot all the time.
Yeah, I saw it, and I thought he lost that argument too. Once he got emotional, he lost.
It sounded immature.
Like the moment, even if he was factually 110%, the moment he got emotional, he lost the argument.
Well, see, Tic Tac, Crypto, this is where people are wrong. He didn't lose that argument. There's not 1 second in my mind. I was sitting here moderating it, trying to tell him not to say a bad word. I had to babysit, frankly. And when you are pushing hard in it, I could sit here and, oh, Sam, you don't have hair on your head. You're such a loser. You know, like I could just pin on that for no reason. I could give a shit. But I could be like, oh, is this a beauty? Let's pretend like this is something about fashion. I'm like, he has no fucking hair. Like, look at him. And some people are like, I like bald guys. Like, that's my style. And but it's like, oh, I'm just going to say it loud, right? I'm going to say it loud and proud. And John had great points, but from a technical level, I rewatched it too. And, you know, Jack was calm and cool and collected the whole time. That's what men look for. Like, men need leadership. Like, if you want people to be calm, cool, collected under pressure. And I thought, Jack texted me after that. He said, that was fun. And I was like, hey, I thought he was going to be mad. But again, I think Zen's dope. I think everything John McCoy has said about Zen has been incorrect to this point, as far as his negative sentiment, calling it a shitcoin, undercutting it completely the whole time, never giving it a fair shake, never saying one thing positive about anything. That's bias. And I've said bad things about Zen. I've said, oh my God, I hope these, like, I'm worried about the hard parts about Zen, but I've said them all. And some people will never highlight the fact that Jack is probably in a private jet right now talking about scaling solutions on the phone with someone so high up in a company. That's what I look for. I want connection. I don't care about, everyone can drop an ERC20, bro. But I want someone that's done something before, hard, heavy. He has real respect and real people that love him.
And you can tell when somebody hasn't gone through, when somebody starts to get emotional during like a discussion, Right? Like I have discussions with people, and they think that like it's somebody's getting emotional and their voice is getting louder, and I'm like, bro, we're literally just having a discussion. Like I'm not trying to give you a hard time. We're having a discussion about this topic that we don't agree on. That doesn't mean you need to like call names or anything like that. But it's just everybody.
Yeah, how do you win an argument when you call someone stupid? Imagine if I called you stupid when we were talking LP. Like, Sam, dude, you didn't do the Zen W ETH pair. You're stupid.
So
what would that ever? How would that ever make sense?
So here's the thing. Like, I'm actually like, you guys know me. Like, I don't stand on either side. I actually want someone here to come and intelligent. Sorry, because like my fucking throat is all fucked up. I want someone to come and actually properly debate Jack with facts, not come here and like act immature or act, like all feelings. Like I was looking forward. I was expecting John to come here with facts and all kinds of stuff. And I get it. They only had like 5 minutes because like like it started like super late or whatever the case is. But the moment like John got him like emotional, I was like, he lost this just based on public opinion. Just based on public
exactly.
And again, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is let's bring this back full circle. The only reason there's so much FUD on Zen is because of public opinion. It has nothing to do with facts.
No, never to do with facts.
So it's like if you want someone to like actually debate Jack and Zen, come correct, come with the facts, get your feelings out of it.
And when I have a really good point, guys, like if I have a point and I really want to tell it to people, there's no one that can. Everyone in the room is going to understand my point.
Like, hold on. Let me
I did not understand a word that John said, but Bullish.
I did. I have massive amounts of respect for John. He's a super smart guy. I have massive amounts of respect for TikTok, but like, come on, we're a little biased here. Like when John came up here talking about the whole validators don't pay gas, that's complete and utter bullshit and has been dispelled already. It's like, or you guys are still running with the with the wrong narrative.
Well,
it's like look it up. Like spend 5 minutes looking it up, and you will see that that's bullshit. So for him to come on here and come with the same argument again, it's like, dude, did you do your research before you even started coming up here? Like,
well, I think people have bags in certain
people are just repeating the same narratives, and they're not actually looking it up. Like when I hear this FUD about validators are basically minting it for free. Okay, let me look into it. Let me look how this actually works.
No one minting for
wrong. They're all paying gas. It might be very minimal, but they're all paying gas or using someone else's gas to do it. But gas is still being paid.
Exactly. And that was the first one on the list. That was like day one Zen, and I pulled that up and I was like, this is crap. And then people still roll with the stuff. Like, and I pulled the article up and it showed all the numbers. Like it was like $100,000 and they still paid gas, but it just wasn't theirs directly. Like it was just like within the centralized exchange gas feature, there's like a pool. So like it kind of keeps the fees to a minimum, Sam, on some centralized exchanges rather than like doing a full on ETH fee. Like, if you know what I mean? Yep. So real quick.
Wait, hold on. Another one that I heard too. And again, like I want these people to come correct. That's what I'm saying. It like, Etherscan shows zero gas. Yeah, you guys know damn well. Anybody who has a background in development knows damn well why it shows 0 and not 12 zeros and a 1.
Yeah, it just saves data, right? Isn't it a data save to have less numbers than a digit?
Like, come on, people. Like,
and I don't even know that shit, but that makes sense to me. Like, already.
It's just rounding. Like that's
it's rounding, but it's probably data related, right? Because you have 150 numbers at the end of every decimal. It probably takes a lot more data than just putting a 7 next to it and a 0.
I don't know the semantics of why they would do it, but generally speaking, they're going to round things off to like 2 decimal places, maybe 4 decimal places.
So it's a round. I see now. I totally see. Like,
yeah,
I know you like said that, but it is just around here.
So to my dear Hexicans, I get it. You guys, feel a certain way about Zen. Great, feel however you want. But if you're gonna come up and debate, please come correct, because when you don't come correct, you make the other Hexicans look like idiots. You make other Hexicans who are willing to debate, saying, you know what, I'm not even going to bother anymore because that person shit the bed for everyone else.
And there's a lot of smart people in the community. So like, yeah.
Hey, those traps are not Photoshopped, by the way. Those are not Photoshopped. I've never Photoshopped my traps, but I did do not use the anabolics that I did at the moment that my traps were so nuclear.
This is exactly the type of discussion, though, that how people are going to learn, how people are going to get better is by having the conversation around thing. And then somebody comes up with something and they don't know what they're talking about. That's perfectly okay. I talk about shit that I don't know what I'm talking about. But the reason is so that I can learn from somebody else.
Exactly.
That's why I ask questions to learn. And these types of discussions is how the community grows, how you grow as a person by having discussions. Whatever you think is happening.
That's how how cryptos grow too, by having community.
But growing as a person, right? You got to grow as a person by challenging your beliefs. If you think this is the case, talk to somebody who knows more than you and ask the questions. Hey, I think this is the case with X, Y, Z.
Well, that's why maximalism is terror. It's a horror. It's actually maximalism is like dating the first girl forever, that the first girl you ever seen. Like, and not the first girl you ever dated, but the first girl you ever seen. Like, you walked into her first high school when you were 18 years old, and the first chick that walked across and gave you a little bit of something loving. Like, you're just like, yep, that's how it goes, man. I got a little love in here. And people do that, Sam. You know that. Everyone knows that. You know those guys. Most of the guys that call me a pleb don't get any loving. And they generally don't have the lives that they truly desire. And they know that I do. And I don't say that because of money. I desire my life because I think it's freaking awesome.
Yes.
It's like a million reasons why I think it's awesome. You could take anything away from me and I could just figure out how to replace it and get it ready within a week or two. So like, that's what I like about my life. Was never like that before. It was always like, oh, 5 years and 5-year plan to get the out of this trouble. So again, I think it's important to remember, like, when someone's talking crap constantly and they're sexless, they have overhead out of their mind, they're stressed constantly, they drive in traffic to and fro to listen to a boss every single day, or if they accepted a sacrifice for millions and millions of dollars and without any scope or real time frame till 2024, like, that's going to cause stress, and that's going to cause you to be biased. And it's going to cause you to have to protect yourself. Sam, what do you do if you had to go to prison? You would not be the guy that you are at your house, because you would say, I have to protect myself. This is not me, maybe, but I will do it if I must. So it's the same thing. It's like, this is not me. I wish I could give money to everyone and be an awesome guy and treat everyone like, but I'm going to just chill and hope to God this works. And I don't like that, because I think you can put your eggs in lots of different baskets and have a really good time and experience and learn about emotional fitness along the way, which is critical.
The thing with Zen, I'm not sure how this is going to play out in the immediate, like, next couple months, but it's interesting to watch the conversations and learn how people talk about things, just because then you get an idea of how people are thinking. Right. That's why I like to ask questions, because I want to understand how people are thinking, what stories they're telling themselves. And that's one of the interesting things I find with Zen, because once you talk to somebody and you ask them the questions, then they'll just tell you what they're thinking. And what does that mean? That means those are the stories that they created in their mind, whether it is accurate or not accurate. That's what they told themselves. So in their mind, it's their truth. And it's interesting for me to ask whether it's related to Zen or related to Maxi or Hedron or anything else in crypto space or just in life in general, to understand how people think about things, because then I can decide for myself if that's a story that I should implement, right? Or if this person just, I have no idea what they're talking about, right? And maybe by questioning them, they get to come to the realization that, like, oh, maybe that's not the case. Because if I just try to tell somebody they're wrong, what happens? They become defensive. But once you show somebody through asking questions, being curious, then it's I think, who was that philosopher? Starts with an A, in Greece or Rome or something. I don't remember who it was. And you can lead somebody to the
Aristotle.
Answer. Probably Aristotle. Yes.
I have no. I'm gonna get shit for that. I have no fucking clue.
We had a little video I think that Bullish pulled up.
Hold on. I want to show something.
Cool. Let's get into this.
So this is oddly bullish. I didn't really expect this, frankly. But this is the 4-hour chart, Sam said. Don't be fooled with the candles too much. But this is 4-hour chart. And, you know, we got 5 zeros, 586, probably the bottom there, roughly. 5 zeros, 586, 5 zeros, 587. And we've done about a 5x from there to this current point. So we're at about a 500% in about 3 days. And, you know, a little goes a long way, guys, with these low liquidity assets. And Richard Hart tries to tell you guys this stuff, but you don't listen unless he's farting it out himself. So I'll tell you for him. When assets have very low liquidity like this, but they have some sticky product market fit to a degree, and this is the WETH pair, so there's other pairs that have more liquidity. It's all upside. People don't understand yet. Like the reason I bought Hedron at the bottom was because it was all upside, not because I really believed in Ethereum at the time. I mean, Hedron. I'm sorry, Hedron. I bought Hedron bottom, and it's because I thought it was oversold. I thought it had product market fit. I thought the liquidity was gone. I said, I'm gonna take a gag on this, and $30 turns. I mean, $100 for $1 billion turns into a lot. You know what I mean? Really quick, and then you have play money forever over there. So then you do that, and then you're a part of that ecosystem now. The same thing comes for here. I was doing really early mints, but what did I tell everyone? Do not buy on Uniswap. So while K4K was getting, I don't know if someone hired his ass to do something or whatever, but like he's being a total dumbass and telling everyone it was a permanent zero. You can't go back up. It's 0% chance to hold up at any level because there's serial minters. But what the smart guys actually do is they look at who minted in the first day. Oh, wait, I was the first 200 guy to do it. And all my friends did it at the exact same time. And what did they all do? They all did 100-day mints because we had no idea what was going on at the time. And that was max length. Probably a good move long-term, actually. So, but what did I did? I was like, hey, I did the first interview on Zen. I probably have a little insight here. I'm going to do a 45 to 75 day ladder. Or it was like 20 say. And, you know, and then I did the bottom buy. And it's really turning and accumulating into $1,000, maybe $1,000, maybe something like this, like already. So it's really, and I think I might have sold a little bit just because I saw it pumping to get my premium back, but I don't really remember. So I'm all free for Zen for the rest of my days. You understand?
You can just sit on that and stake it if you care to, if you want to hold on to it long.
20% APY at the moment for stakes on the coin count. So, and I get free Zen for the rest of my life. And so does K4K probably, because he probably bot minted on everything. And, you know, the whole point is not to call people out because of anything other than I want these people to look me in the face and say that they didn't look into these things before they opened their fucking mouth. That's what I want. I don't want any money. I spent $250 to $350 now. And I want intellectual respect back. And the lack of intellectual respect makes me afraid for the community. It makes me afraid for maximalism. What do we see with Bitcoin? No one uses it anymore. And everyone that hodls it tells everyone to buy it under every circumstances, would tell their parents to leverage it at the top. And it's a trading token now, and it still has legs, but like still, I think it's important to remember, like Bitcoin was the first crypto ever. That is why it's lit forever, probably.
Well, I think Richard Hart actually encourages maximalism, right? Like he specifically encourages it with his stuff, which is understandable.
No, he flip-flopped. He flip-flopped because when I started watching Richard Hart, he said maximalism was very bad. But now that you're watching Richard Hart years later, you have a completely different scope. You're like, this dude promotes maximalism 150,000% in every single way, shape, or form, and I would agree with you now.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily.
And then you wonder why people are closed-minded in the community around other things, right? Because you have somebody who is, you know, the supposed leader of a community, right? And they're purporting, you know, things that are not necessarily healthy in the long run, maximalism, right? Just
Hey, real quick, there's a fake account of me on Twitter that's absolutely nuclear. It is super good, super clean, and they did everything properly. So if you could please, like, I'm not DMing anyone about nothing. Probably not DMing anyone about nothing, really. Like, so I've been off Twitter a little bit, so people are probably taking advantage of that because it's easier to monitor, like, whatever the bots they run for, like, scamming people. So please focus. If anyone's asking you for money or trading advice or for your account information or anything like that, but I am not sitting online all day and babysitting people.
One of the things that John did bring up that I think warrants additional conversation, towards the end, John had asked about the effect of having additional transactions on the network and the cost of doing that, or if he thought it was a good thing or whatever, like, but he was positioning it as a negative thing clearly. But I think that is a interesting thing to have a conversation around, because does it make Ethereum better? Does it make crypto better to increase utilization or usage of crypto, right? I think that, like, from the legacy's point of view in crypto, it's going to make costs for people in crypto more expensive if it's more congested at this moment in time. Yet when it's built, right? When it's built and you have increased usage of something, then that's exactly what it was meant for. Plus, as the usage goes up, what does that do? People are going to go where there's energy. If you're at a party and there's a lot of people who are laughing and giggling and just having a good blast of a fucking time at the party, or there's the other corner where people are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs and on their phone, which corner are you going to want to be in? The people who are having fun, the people who are doing things, right? And that's what's like happening, because it's
People that have love, respect, and intellectual integrity within the United States in the world. This is global. This is global. Binance is global. I use Binance every day now. Maybe not in just like my own way, but like that's what I use on my streaming computer because I don't want to pay gas. I don't like gas fees. And I love chilling on my streaming computer and doing stuff with no gas fees. $100 a day max if you did 300 transactions.
But I think that
300
is going to change.
But still, dude, it's negligible. I'm telling you, I'm not a rich dude. And at that under 10 penny mark, 20 penny mark, it's cool. It's just cool. It's just cool. I could pick up that on literally the ground. So I think it's important to remember as we go forward. I want to play a video now for a minute so I can cool my jets. And the last thing I want to say about John McCoy and Zen and Jack is Tic Tac, you say he got passionate at the end of that conversation and it started to make him say curse words. I've talked to John personally 5 or 6 times over the last 3 weeks. He's done nothing but talk nuclear shit about Jack every second of every conversation that we have had. And I gave him no crap about it. I was just like, hey, I want to learn if you got something to say. But my radar went off when he started talking crap on day 1, on day 2, on day 3, on day 4, on day 5, on day 6, on day 7, while we were all trying to learn. And he's much smarter than all of us, right? And I'm not saying that he's smart in whatever field he's in. But I think it's important to remember, like, some people have different skills.
Yeah, he's extremely smart. Yeah.
Some people are super social. And I'm not saying he's not. I have fucking no clue. But some people can read people. Some people can read security. Some people, you think Richard's all here because he's a technical beast? He's degen trader number 1. Richard Hart, liquidity providing God. So, I think it's awesome. I just think Zen is awesome. And I say awesome because there's nothing, dude, these guys will literally tell you to spend $750 a week on Hex until it starts going up again. Then you have no money forever. So you're either spending all your money on Hex or waiting for it to go up or cashing out at one point, right? Like you need cash at some point. So it's important to spread your little wings out. And Zen is an easy way for low US dollar to do so. And I agree with that. I agree with getting involved in crypto for little to no US dollar. That's critical.
Because then you can have those 1000Xs from shit like where it has 4 zeros, and you have over the next year or multiple years, you have multiple X's on there.
In the
thousands of X.
Well, the last point is Zen Crypto, Bitcoin. Why was Bitcoin so successful? Because everyone sold it. This is so important. The reason that Bitcoin's not fairly distributed, but it kind of is. Why? Because it was the first. And what do we know about Zen launch on Ethereum? Metrics completely different than Zen launch on Binance. So let's talk Bitcoin for a second. Bitcoin launches, no one knows about it. There's like 7 guys that have any idea they should hodl this shit. And everyone else is just going to nuke it just like Zen on a 400%er. Like I would never, ever at this point in the game for Zen, other stuff with high liquidity, bam, out of here, get sold. But like in general, with low liquidity assets, I'm only on the buy side until I see 75x, 50x, 40x, because it takes nothing to get to that point. And people don't get it. So it's like, dude, but if I put 100 grand in, that changes the metrics of the entire coin. That's not what I want to do. So put the right amount of money into a low liquidity asset. But if you're a big dog and you want to get involved in a higher liquidity asset, next step up, or maybe you have 300 grand, 700 grand, make a play on Hex. Get involved. You can get a nice share of Hex, in my opinion, for 700 grand, 300 grand, where you can really crank T shares and get it gone. But there's other things for different asset. Low liquidity asset means people that have less money generally are the ones that buy in it. And then that's why, because if they're good in general, real investors come in. They come in weeks later. They don't buy Zen on the bottom when there's $700 in liquidity on USDT ETH. That's retarded. But I do.
You can't. You can't.
No, they could. It would just be zero ROI to them.
But if you have $3,000 in liquidity and somebody's like, hey, I have 20 grand. I'm an investor. And I have
20,000. That thing 300%.
And this is you're correct, exactly. If somebody tried to buy 20 grand worth of Zen, they're fine. They have to do it over the course of some period of time because they can't do it when something is so low liquidity. It's so low liquidity, and I don't.
Zen on ETH, not even those gas fees were high. Don't get it twisted. So like people were spending $50, $30, $60 a mint for like a day or two here at some points. ETH's value is going to be higher than the other chains until there's some sort of atomic swap, until there's some sort of cross-chain liquidity, and that still might not change it, but it could. So I think
that the something at some point,
dude, Zen FTs, dude, I forgot, bro.
Well, but at some point, the cost to mint, right? So say if on average, I don't have, let's see if I have a calculator up here.
You've already entered that zone. So the zone you're talking about already exists right now. It is more profitable. Well, no, of yesterday, not today anymore. I forgot. It was more profitable to buy on the market when I bought 100%. I spent $100. I got 30 million.
Because otherwise you got to wait like 46 days or 75 days before
it took me 1 second.
Correct.
And I'm done for life, boy. Like I tell people that they don't believe me, bro. I'm like, maybe I'll speculate at the day 100 to 120 point. That would be the other time I'd think about it. But after that, I'll never buy it again.
That day 100, I'm looking at. Like I'm looking at the day 100 to see what takes place then. Because if you have, I don't know, 6,000 people claiming they're Zen at the same time, there's going to be a bunch of those people who are like, oh my God, I spent $300 in.
Yes. And I tried to warn all of them. Every day I sat here and warned them. And I said, serial minting is a little bit sketchy if you don't know what you're doing. If you're using a bot, you're going to get perma-wrecked by guys like me who have bigger brain, I guess. When I'm not saying bullish, I was just making the point to the guys that don't know what they're doing.
No, I was basically going to say that sometimes I wish we had time to prepare and pull up these clips because you've been saying that since day one.
Oh, every day I told everyone,
No one just
Serial mint
people,
all
people
you
just
want.
have selective
John
hearing.
McCoy comes on here. K
People
for
have
K
selective
comes on
hearing.
here. All the smartest guys come on here. They say you can mint forever. Fuck them.
Yeah, you've
They're
been saying
idiots.
this.
You can buy the bottom with
Yeah.
one click. I get more for you than for life, bitch.
And you've been saying it from day one, and you've been telling people, don't go crazy with the minting, don't go buying right now. Wait for it to cross over, and when it cross over, that's gonna be your opportunity to buy. You've been saying that since day one. You've been telling people, don't go crazy, people. You've been telling the following, but people have selective hearing. You've been saying the following: don't go crazy minting, and don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it until that liquidity is ripe enough and that ratio crosses over. I was waiting for the ratio to cross over to be a buyer's market, not a minter's market anymore. That is a 1% swing. So like you wait and then it crosses over. So my mints were no longer profitable compared to me buying, or I wasn't getting as much. So I said, fuck, I'm going to spend some Ethereum on this very low. But people don't understand. I guess Tic-Tac to $100 to Tic-Tac, that could be a lot of money. To GRC, that's putting your ass money. I don't give a fuck.
No. Tic-Tac got them booty sheets.
And I ain't saying that. You know what I mean?
Big
as far
booty
as risk. As far as risk.
She loaded with the big booty sheet.
But what does it mean I can't with telling people to buy it? I ain't never told anyone to buy it. I actually told everyone not to buy it.
That's why I jumped in. No. It's not Tic-Tac's fault. Tic-Tac doesn't watch every day. That's why I jumped on here to remind everyone that you've been saying that since day one.
Not to buy. From the beginning,
every day.
If you go to mint and you get 10,000 Zen and it costs you $5, then there's a certain cost per Zen. Versus going to the market and you're like, okay, $5 gets me 100,000 Zen for free, right? Or I can take that $5 and I could buy 600,000 Zen in the market, right? That's effectively, that's all people. That's what GRC is talking about.
And GRC has said it with Jack on the stream, and Jack saying here, don't buy, mint, and GymRat saying, yeah, I'm not gonna mint, I'm not gonna buy, but I will buy when it hits this crossover.
And I also told people I minted on 8 addresses on 2 different accounts. That makes so I minted on 8 addresses on Ethereum, and I told everyone I'm not doing it again. I don't. First of all, I'm lazy. Second of all, it's a pain in the ass. But now you can batch mint, which makes all those buys that I just did go up 10x faster. So you need to start focusing. If you're in this chat and you're complete, just wait. I promise you guys, I'll do another one of those things like future telling.
I did the bot. I know how much I spent. If I spent that same amount of dollar amount that you yesterday, I would have had way more Zen today. And that's the truth. That's just the truth.
And
this is not me.
This
This is not me choosing sides. This is not me one over the other. It's just simple math. If I waited the way GymRat rated it and used that same dollar amount that I spent on gas fees with my bot, I would have had more Zen today.
And that was due to my experience with the Ethereum gas fee structure. I was in the bull run with Hex. I watched me never be able to take anything out. I couldn't move a damn coin. I couldn't move a damn coin for under $150. And I was working and partying and, you know, like I just didn't have like focus about it. So again, I think it's incredibly important to remember some people actually focus. Guys, when I'm learning this stuff, I'm actually focused on what's going on. I am not focused about what other people are doing. I am not focused on what Sam's doing. I truthfully believe that I have talents that other people don't have in specific areas. So I like to double down. I like to say, you know what, let me get in there and really show people what I got because it makes me learn faster anyway. And I'm not motivated by the money. I'm motivated by truth. And what I see when people are calling people dumb, when people are calling people idiots, when people are saying only 1% of what the actual full story is. Like, oh, John said this, that, and the other. I was like, John's talked shit about John, that motherfucker for weeks, relentlessly, arrogantly. And I just let him do it because I was like, well, maybe he's right. I don't know. And so, but what did I say? Maybe he's right. I don't know. Let me sit back and think because, man, this guy's smart, blah, 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 blah. But guess what did I learn? When I shook Jack's hand on top of that penthouse in a Mexican party in Vegas, and he was like, I got to dip on my private jet. And I was like, dude, I think Zen's going to take over the world. And he was like, don't be too crazy. I don't want to get too, you know, like he was like, everyone just be cool. Just be cool. And I was like, dude, I think you're the guy. And he was, you know, no one, that's a weird thing to say to someone. So he's just like, get out of here, Jim, right? Like, fuck off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm leaving. But I remember thinking leadership, I felt it I felt leadership. I felt like someone who wanted to help. I felt like if I gave him everything I had, he would give it to someone else. And I felt like that's what crypto communities are all about. And so let's play a little video. Guys, if you're in the chat, I just want you to start focusing, doubling down on the truth, the white paper, not going into private little telegrams so you can feel good about yourself for a day because other people agree with you. It's not important. You need to learn because this stuff will leave you behind. I bought 30 million or 20 million or 30 million Zen yesterday for $35 to $100. I don't really remember the exact rate, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in this chat that hate Zen that will never have that much, ever. And I did it without even thinking about it. And I had never wanted profit from it, ever. When I bought that, I said, the ratio crossed over. It's a buyer's market now. I've been waiting. I didn't think it would happen this quick. Cool, let me do a $30 to $100 buy. And it was just as simple as a math equation to me. I was like, oh, if it's not profitable to mint today, isn't that interesting? It must be profitable to buy. I was like, oh my. Let's play. I gotta play a video, so I shut the fuck up.
Let Bullish. What video was that you had pulled up there?
Well, that was the feed from before, but yeah, I don't think we need to play that.
Or did you have a video?
Yeah, let me go on YouTube, and the Fed rates are coming out here at 2:00. Let me check my phone because
yeah, Fed rate doesn't come out till 2.
So yeah, I shit the bed on that, but I'll come back on, and if Sam wants to, we'll do a little like maybe 35-40 minute boomer.
Everything is energy. How many Zen do we need to get rich, depending on how long you want to wait?
1.73, 22-year outlook.
Is NFT is going to make
Clip
the
it.
price look better?
Clip it.
$80 spent in a total of a sell for 160, made 75 very easily. Interesting.
Is K for K under the? You know when Patrick from SpongeBob lives under a rock and it shuts and you can't even find his ass anymore? That's probably what K for K be doing. He said you can't profit from Zen. He said it was impossible to profit from Zen on live stream on his third edit of the video.
Yeah, I don't really care what K for K says or not. I got no dog in this fight, but yeah, there's plenty of people profiting from that. Plenty.
I just want the truth, and I like the only people that really makes me feel good, right in my little nucleus.
I laugh because there's so many like Hexicans who were here early on, who are known as whales and all that kind of stuff, who are happily minting, making their profits in Zen and just keeping quiet. And I'm just like, this is hilarious because it's like you got one side of the community who are just quiet, doing the Zen thing, minting, making profits, who are like very, well respected and known in our community. And then you got the other side who are just being like mad vocal and negative about it. And it's like, you're just better off being like the other Hexicans who are just staying quiet and handling their business.
If I accepted a sacrifice for something that was created on Pulsechain, I would be so neurotically insecure and vulnerable. And and that's just me. I know my personality. Like I don't like having overhead. I don't like having time restrictions that I can't have monitor over. I don't like things happening I first of all sacrifice for all these projects. So when these guys talk shit about me, it's super funny. It's so funny. Oh my god.
And there is one thing I want to say, because I've been noticing, like, especially like this week I've been gone. I've been paying attention to Twitter and not really engaging or anything like that. But let me give everyone out in the Twitter world a piece of advice. If you do not want something to have attention, stop giving it attention.
And if you don't want me to call out
let me repeat that. If you do not want something to have attention, stop giving it attention, directly, indirectly, or however you want to do it. Like, speak whatever you want to speak about. Freedom of speech. Booyah. But if you really hate Zen, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're not doing anyone any favors. You're not doing your community any favors. You're not doing the people that you're trying to onboard any favors. All you're doing is giving more light to Zen. That's all you're doing, giving more light to Zen. And making yourself look like an idiot.
If only the 5 million users.
Making yourself look like an idiot and a hater in the process. Like, there's literally Hexicans in this community. And yeah, now I'm saying it. Hexicans in this community who don't have a very active Twitter, But boy, are they active when it comes talking about Zen. Boy, are you active when it comes talking about Zen. And yeah, I'm talking about all you semi-retired motherfuckers sitting on a beach. Shut the fuck up. Talk about Hex. Talk about Richard Hart. Stop talking about Zen and people who support Zen.
Oh wait,
You
I talk
sound
about
like
Richard
an idiot.
Hart.
And if you guys keep this shit on, I'm gonna be forced to start dropping names. And if I start dropping names, believe me, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty, and this is not a threat. I'm just trying to lead by example. You don't hear me talking shit about fucking Zen, about fucking Hex, or about Cult, or about any of this shit.
Children.
I shut up. No, at this point, whatever. I
Bullish
apologize.
is on a
This is the
tear.
one
He's
time
like-
I'm saying it. Guys, cut this shit out. You guys look immature. You guys look inexperienced.
That was a
Frankly, they look like they're going like, you know what it feels like when someone tries crystal meth for the first time.
And
It's
yes,
like
I'm
so
talking
very-
to all you Hexicans out there who think your shit don't stink. Well, guess what? Your shit stinks. And you're putting it all over fucking Twitter.
Yeah, some of us are just trying to have some intellectual integrity and learn about stuff. I got involved with the founder of Zen. I wanted everyone. I was tagging Richard and Zen on everything, trying to get some synergy there. And Richard went online and did a lazy take and then told everyone that had Pulsechain validators to fuck off.
Like, here's the thing. I can give a shit if Zen does a 10,000x or doesn't. I can give a shit if Hex does a 10,000x or doesn't. I can give a shit if Pulsechain launches tomorrow or it doesn't. What I care about is how we reflect upon other communities, how we reflect upon the greater crypto space. We're supposed to be the smartest people out here, and we look like a bunch of fools. Why? Because we can't keep our shit together.
Yeah, but when someone tries to actually do good research, they literally will push and squeeze you out of the community the best they can and just make you block them because they'll just evil. They're just rude. And then you're just like, I'm not watching this. Like, fuck you. Block you. And then they're like, look, GRC blocked me. And it's like all my follower counts go up like redonkulous. And it's just like, dude, you guys are so bad at everything. Like, please just focus on intellectual integrity. It's not your job to make Hex work forever. You can be a lending hand and a helpful person and do what you must. But I don't need a leader. I need products that I can invest in that have leaders because I don't have one of those myself. So I find leadership. I found a lot of leadership with Richard Hart's work early on. He's pivoted a little bit to like more of the not the DGen marketing, I guess it would be called. And that's not my style. It's not, and that's why I don't look at his videos as hardly as I used to. I tried for a while, but he kept saying like the N-word. He kept saying penis. He kept saying all this shit. And I got kids watching this stuff in the car on the way to traffic. And frankly, I don't like it. If I liked it, maybe it'd be a little different, but I don't like it. I think being disrespectful to women is frankly rude. And I don't think it has to be done, even if you feel that way.
Yeah, I feel that way too. And it's like, again, everyone can say whatever they want to say, but like, I don't know. Like, I was raised this way. Like, you talking down on women, that's weak sauce at any point. It doesn't matter if they attack you first or not. It's weak sauce to me.
Yeah, just get out. Just do your own thing.
Like, ignore it. Like, ignore it. Move on. Like,
yeah. So I just want everyone to it's time to step up a little bit. It's time to be active, pay attention. This is the bear market. People want you to invest in what they have way more money in than you. I don't give a shit if you buy more Zen than I have. Period. End of story. You could do it at any moment of the day today. Promise you. But you probably won't. But like, I could promise you anyone can put a $500 buy on Zen today and they probably will have just as much as I have, maybe like $700 or something like this. I don't know. But again, end of the world, 700. Now, Bitcoin went from 1 penny to $65,000. And everyone sold it, Sam. Everyone sold it because it was new and they didn't understand. Just like Zen on day one, everyone did 100-day mints. No one really understood that those first 100 days could have some price positive potential. I kind of felt that. So I said, hey, I don't have that much money. I'll make a play on that. So, and that's what I did. And now we're here. And I'll just tell you guys, this is the last little alpha before I go. Watch for day 100 to 120 on Ethereum Zen. Because
talk about that for a second.
Because it was the first launch and no one understood. So everyone was rushing to their computers full head of steam, me included, except I had a few weeks because I had met with Jack And I had a few weeks to brainstorm this. It was hard, and it really did take a lot. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can make a play on this, because he made it so you can't really shark a good deal. And that's kind of what Hexicans are used to, sharking good deals. And so I said, man, I got to wait for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months for a deal. Whew, that's tough for a Hexican, but I'll do it. And so I did it, and my mints were closed. And then I finally found a time where I was comfortable to speculate. And I guess other people felt the same, because it started to get there. And so doing a little bit of a purchase for $100, it's just a few $100s can really make people crazy. It's funny. Like, I could spend $100,000 on Hex any day of the week, and GymRatCrypto would say that's a money move. And then I spent $200 on a brand new low liquidity asset that pumped 500% in 35 hours, more than I've ever seen from Hex as a holder of liquid. And that's a problem. Hex is 1,050 days old. It is a new shiny object. Don't forget it. It's new. That's 3 years, Sam. How many products do you invest in that are 3 years old, Sam?
I agree.
Where?
It's brand fucking new. It's brand new.
So let's get it true. Let's get it. There's $10 million in liquidity in Hex. And when Ethereum Zen passes that, I will make sure I message GymRatCrypto and let her know, probably in about 3 weeks. So, and if more money is spent on that movie than there is in the liquidity pool, I'm making a documentary about the liquidity pool. Literally, I will make a documentary called Hex Liquidity Pool.
The movie that's not coming out till 2024.
Yeah, if they spent more US dollar, and first of all, half those motherfuckers probably don't even know how to provide LP, because it's not Richard spending the money. It's the guys that his best fans, and I bet they don't even have money in LP. So I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a stable asset that I can put long-term money in. I'll switch to ETH, but I'll speculate a little bit on Hex because it's so low liquidity. But again, if $10-15 million gets spent on this movie, I'm going to have questions. I'm going to have serious questions, because I need more liquidity. I need real investors to get involved, and $10 million in liquidity is not enough.
It could be very big from a marketing standpoint to come out in 2024, because at that point, there's a decent probability that it will be in a bull market. And if you're talking about how awesome something is when it's down 95%, like it's hard to convince somebody that like it's cool if it's down 95%. But when it's actually up and when it's increasing in price, when it is bullish the whole entire market, then there's an opportunity there from a marketing standpoint.
I don't know why.
The
Fed meeting pivoted to 2 p.m., guys. I'll be covering that live. If Sam wants to come on, I'll add his stream to it. He just texted me. I'm doing it anyway. So 2 p.m. I'll be on at 1:45 p.m. Eastern, and we're doing full Fed. I'm covering the Fed. I want to cover it. I want to see what it's like to cover it too. I like to learn. Okay. And Green Day, the crypto show, dude, I've been shutting off my Twitter. That's the only reason I'm not getting back to you. And when me and Sam start to get in the flow again, I'm going to have you on the show, or vice versa, depending on, he has a show as well. And I would love to be a part of it. I love anyone that wants to learn about this stuff. Green Day power. First of all, I love Green Day. Second, the crypto show, $4.99 super chat. You two and Bullish are meatheads. However, in the months watching you, I have learned more and feel you two have integrity and are really fair. Christ-like. Thank you for inspiring. I think fair is the right word. Thank you so much. I mean, we do try to be fair. And we're not all the same. Like, we all have our own level of bias, but together we're way less bias.
And also to add to that, we try to do the same thing for all these projects coming on board. Like, we just try to give them a fair chance, figure out what it is. You know what I mean? Before we like decide like this shit is crap or not. And even if we decide it's crap, we're not there really like spending our time and energy making sure everyone knows
we talked to that guy for fucking Dodeca who stole people's money, right? Not because we wanted to learn about it, because we're like, okay, cool.
Well, the day it rugged, I came out with the video said Dodeca rugged.
Correct.
And I said, guys, I had a sketchy feeling about this the whole time. I brought him on live. I told everyone I wasn't getting involved. Everyone.
Yeah, same.
Everyone's just like, this is not for me. It's not my style. I don't get it. I don't know who this fucker is. And you guys know how I look at projects. If I don't know who the guy is, I've talked to Jacob from BNBP on the phone for 5.5 hours, probably combined. And that's enough for me. Like, that's enough for me. If he's not going to show his face talking to me one-on-one on the phone for 5 hours, we'll do. So you know me, I'm picky.
Like the way TikTok feels, I feel the same way. But the only way I can combat that is not behave the same way we're behaving with these coins. So I'm not gonna go and talk shit about another coin because guess what? That opens it up for them to talk shit about us, right? So like even like this whole back and forth with like the Zen community and the Hex community, right? Maybe if we were just a little bit nicer, they wouldn't just start just talking shit. Because you know how it is, like when you're in like junior high school or high school, it's like, oh, your mama too.
Yep.
Like,
and then the tiny little things like having one person in Hex who owns all of it gets overblown because then people are like, well, in Zen, they're like, oh, well, why would you fucking want something where somebody owns 90% of the supply? That seems foolish, right? That stuff, when you're talking shit about somebody, then they're going to point out every little fucking detail of shit.
It's like your mama's fat. Well, your mama's fat too. Well, your daddy's fat too. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, what does my daddy have to do with it? It's like, why you talked about my mama?
Yes.
And the reason people think I'm like a Hex hater is because I tell people specific details about Hex that make them feel a little squirmish inside. Like when I tell you that every single Hexican has $10 million combined between them, all of them right now, that makes you feel a little less wealthy. You know, makes me feel a little less wealthy. So, you know what I mean? 10 mil.
Pacific has a super chat here. Sorry for the rookie question, but where do you see how much liquidity a coin has? Can you show us? Dex Screener, dexscreener.com. You can search for the coin that you're looking at, and then you can just scroll through and see how much LP is in each pool. You can also go to like Uniswap and look up stuff there, but Dex Screener has multiple different aggregations.
And the one thing that people forget with this when they're new, and I'm not saying you're new at all, I'm just mentioning this in general. So like when you're buying a crypto, this is really basic, but needs to be said. You're buying a pair. So just because I'm buying Ethereum doesn't mean I'm buying the same Ethereum as if I spend USDC rather than if I spend Bitcoin. Okay, well, I don't, is it, yeah, whatever. I don't know the pairs for that but like Hex and WETH rather than Hex USDC, the prices are different. And that's what arbitrage is, right? So if you have WETH, you're going to get a different price. If you have ETH going into Hex, you're going to get a different price if you have USDC going into Hex. Just to be a little different, just a hair different, but on a more vulnerable price chart that's earlier, it's lots of different. So that's important as things get more asset, gets more tight, more strong. Hex is pretty strong at this point as far as its boundness between all these. It's important to understand you're paying. So like if I buy BNBP with BNB, I get that rate. But if I buy with a coin where there's only $3 in the liquidity pool, I'm not going to buy anything. It's not even going to go through.
And so that does 100% happen. But for most people, like who are not super deep into the liquidity or paying attention to this stuff, you'll see like a pool between say USDC and say Hedron and say ETH and Hedron, and the price is going to be different between those two pools. But it's generally going to be small. But when you go and there's barely any liquidity, then those differentials can be bigger, like by a large amount sometimes, especially what happened on WETH and ETH Fair, where the ratios were way off, and you could be in something that the ratio is so far off that you get to double your position size because the ratio is so far off. You won't see that on Ethereum very often. Very, very unlikely to see something like that, but there is differentials in the price ever so slightly.
I think I'm the first guy to, I think 555 staker syndrome. I think I created that.
What is that?
It's the list of personality traits that come out when you have too much wealth staked for 5555. So when you stake a certain amount of your net wealth for 5555, in turn, this is God and biology, not me. You have to, by definition of the human brain, you have to defend what's yours. So if you have, it's true, and it's like
no, you're right. You're right. What did you call it?
It's true. It's like I find out all these people that are super mad about me, and then like 3 weeks later,
what's the name of it again? What's the name again?
It's 555 staker syndrome. And Richard's unaffected by 555 staker syndrome because
Actually, anybody with money
is
not affected by that.
Yeah, but if you have no liquid money, like if you have less liquid money than you have in 5555 stakes,
I have 15-year stakes. I can give a shit what happens to them.
Right, that's how I am too. Because it's just like you throw a couple $100, $1,000, and it just moves on to the next one, and that's either your retirement for the rest of the life.
That's literally what it is. It's a retirement. If it happens, it happens.
I think Hex is amazing for retirement, and I say that, but no, everyone thinks it's the stupidest thing to say. When I'm like, it's perfect thing to say. It's like, dude, 3-5 years in crypto, that is retirement in crypto. Like that's
it's a solid vehicle. Like it's a solid vehicle to like park your money up for a long time. Solid, no doubt about it.
And
I have
everyone's
555 stakes too. I got 15-year stakes.
Like
I don't have staker syndrome because
like
that ratio didn't cross over.
I'm of the opinion where if like you don't have like your, like if you're speculating with and this is not financial advice, but if you're speculating with a bit of money and you want to lock it up for 15 years, whatever, okay, great. But if you're locking up a good portion of your money and you don't have your shit together now, it might not be wise to lock it up for 15 years.
And if you forget to mint your Hedron 10x, that hurts for 15 years.
Oh, God.
I never even thought about that. Oh, Jesus, Lord have mercy. If I did not stay, and remember all those guys I talked about, guys, if you want to know about the truth in crypto up to date every single day, you have to follow our channels because this is literally, I'm starting to be right about a couple of things now, which is cool. Before I was just talking out my ass and now it's like, hey, things are coming true. Hedron. All the Hexicans called me an asshole for talking about Hedron. Luckily, they had some, so they could like hold it back a little bit, like because they're usually just hate you. But yeah, Alex was smart enough to give them some, so they didn't actually put dynamite in their asshole and explode it. But then Icosta came out super into it, and then BNBP came out. Oh, I crossed the line with that one, Sam. Of course.
Oh,
Richard followed me right away. It's funny. You could stream about the guy and DM him every single day for your whole entire life. Tell him face to face you respect him. But if you talk about something that someone was building on his project, that person being a day one Hexican that has more money than me by a fuckload, and he's a day one Hexican, he'll dump that shit for his shit now, I'm sure, because he can't even get respect. In Binance, I mean, I respect, you know what I mean? Like,
correct.
Dude, he wanted to build on Pulsechain. He did 100% pivot. He's paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's locked in 24/7. I published it. I told people to buy on the first day. I told people I wouldn't speculate much after that $10 mark if I was trying to get like a good deal for the future. But if, like, of course, if you want to play the game, you do whatever fuck you want. But anyway, I told everyone the specifics. It's all about integrity, guys. And I have integrity, and I go to bed, and I feel good about what I do.
Let me start the next FUD before everyone else starts it, because at this point, for me, it's predictable. For me, at this point, the FUD is predictable. So let me start it. Here's the next FUD. We are horrible because we promote IMD, which is a non-Richard Hart wallet.
I need to remember to study that.
Oh, you naughty
boy!
I
need to remember to study that, dude.
We are horrible because we are promoting a non-Richard Hart wallet. God forbid we do that. We're going to get everyone wrecked by earning fees from fees made off a wallet.
Well, I support Richard Hart's testnet, and I spent 10 grand on it. So they can suck me. I spent 10 grand on, and I don't care, first of all. Like, you guys know me at this point. Like, that 10 grand, I'm happy I sacrificed for it. You'll learn faster, trust me, when you do a bunch of stuff.
There's people laughing in the chat because they know I'm right. Because they're going to start, when they run out of whatever to talk shit about, they're going to latch onto that and they'll be like, oh no, now they're promoting a wallet that's not Richard Hart. That's going to be the next FUD. I promise you, that's going to be the next FUD. And if it doesn't, it's because I started it first. So now what do you have to stand on now? What do you have to stand on now?
Yeah, and I've been trying to be nice. Like the whole time I did nothing but smile, say I want inclusion, tag Richard Hart, ask everyone for open-minded. I was like, Jack, Richard, let's get another stream going. And then next thing you know, Richard's blocking on Jack, trying to unfollow him, making sure that there's no more of that action going on because God forbid we need to have an intellectual conversation at this point because that could be scary. Right.
It promotes maximalism.
Well, and I promote Richard Hart's product, Hex, because I love the immutable smart contract, man. I really do love that. But that's the truth of the matter. And I really supported Richard Hart a lot when he was spitting all that good human, good self-help, how to have a better relationship with your mother, how to have a better relationship with your spouse, how to do 3 things at once during the work hours. All those things, I liked all of those things a lot. And I watched all of them 15 times. And frankly, it turned me into a little threat because I know too much, man. About that stuff. Like I've just studied the guy. So I just got so into it. He did exactly the right thing. Like you got a guy like me to get really into it. And I still respect the man, but he don't work for me and I don't work for him. And he knows that. That's why he unfollowed me because he doesn't give a shit. And that's okay. I don't give a shit about him really. Like I do, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's real. Like he's being real about it. He don't want to hear about BMVP. I like guys that block motherfuckers when they're talking stupid nonsense to them. Good. And when he did it, everyone's like, gee, he's so mad about it. I was like, guys, I can't even look at Twitter anymore anyway. Because you guys are, every time I have something to bring up or a founder to bring on and you don't have the bags, you cry because obviously there's this money not to be speculated. It's a bear market. I just want everyone to be open-minded. I have no overhead. I'm net positive for the month. I have no children. I am single. My life is different than yours. It doesn't mean I'm better than you. So when I'm saying these things, there's no better. It's like, it's not that. It's just like position and how to be effective. And because you will get washed out. And you do not want to have paid attention for the whole bear market and get washed out from a different asset that just pumps way harder. Remember Richard says, why would you ever buy Ethereum when Hex did a 10,000x? Well, why would you ever buy Hex if something else did a 10,000x, right? It's the same thing. It's important to note that, Sam. I'm coming back on live in hour and 20 minutes to cover the feds. If you want to come on, that would be fantastic. And you have any closing words? I want to promote Synergy. I won't stop promoting Synergy. I had one day where I talked shit. Chat. And that was Rich. And that was Bullish that made me talk shit, by the way. He started talking shit. All these discounts, Desi is still trading below Hex price. Blows my mind. People don't know when opportunity knocks. Then they cry. I have to check the liquidity on that first.
There's also like barely, if you look at Maxi, the discount relative to Hex is small. Like it's 6 cents, 5.9 cents versus 4 and change, right? Remember when
that's a huge deal.
That's come down drastically.
Like, what do you see? Tell me what you're seeing. What do you feel?
I think that the Maxi team and all those guys, it's spread slightly thin for this size of the community. And that in the longer term, what is that longer term? Could that be 3 months? Could it be 8 months? Could it be a year and a half? Yes, where that premium will expand, but I think it could come down first. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in crypto. There's a lot of immutable stuff. There's a lot of really great communities. There's a lot of smart people that are getting into crypto. Will that Maxi premium come down even further? I don't know. I think that it definitely could. The big thing that I'm paying attention to is Hedron. I think that Hedron right now, has a massive opportunity. Excuse me. A massive opportunity as we go. We've got 2 weeks left, less than 2 weeks before these auctions start. I'm just excited to see how this plays out. Whether price goes up or doesn't go up, it's cool with me either way. I'm good. But I'm curious.
Dude, if I have $100 million by the end of next year, I'm gonna freak.
Yes.
I'm gonna freak. And and you guys will know too. That's crazy.
Right?
Man, I don't care if it happens or not. Like, I really don't. Like, my lifestyle, frankly, will change less than it probably should.
Like I'm good. I'm happy.
Well, I'm telling you, like, there's life upgrades that I need that I won't do because I don't care. Correct. I'm just that way, and I'm not everyone. Like, Sam's a lot of that too, though. Like, Sam would neglect his style for 3 decades, even if it was negative for his dating life, if he was working 24 hours. Like, like it's just that, but everyone has mission, different time schedule, kids, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I love all you guys. I'm not talking crap about anyone, guys, but I promote Synergy. I tagged Richard, Jack, all these guys trying to get them together. I met up with all these people in person other than Richard. I DM'd all these people and they answered other than Richard. But it's important to understand, like, I promote Synergy. I wanted things to get more synergistic. I knew Zen was going to get a lot of volume. There's batch minting coming out. It's going to 5x the volume minimum, my opinion. At 10x upside. So just remember, it's important to stay open-minded all day long, open-minded. These people don't care about you. They care about all of us as a collective potentially, but they do not care about you. Just like if something was happening to you, I wouldn't really know how to care about you because I don't really know you, but I would respect and hope everyone, I try to get the vibes good. So everyone can, this show's about catching a good vibe, moving forward. Bullish come in here. He's been on deathbed for a fucking week and he just wanted to raise hell for a minute. And that's okay.
Yeah, I apologize for that, but I meant every single word I said.
No need to be sorry.
We call that the Conor McGregor apology. He says, I apologize to absolutely fucking nobody.
I hate y'all with a little Brooklyn talk.
Yeah. So, guys, I'll be back on at 1:30 talking about the Fed rates. 1:45, I'll probably be playing a video for most of that. Like, it's going to be just like commentation and me kind of piecing through it. We did a very nice stream on PP token yesterday. I did my 1% allocation. I promised I would do it. I never minted and I will not mint my free coins just because I
still haven't looked into PP.
I like to prove points, so I won't mint any of my free coins and I will be a leader in the ecosystem. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea what's going on over there. So I just bought some.
Hold on a second.
Cool.
Hold on. I want to respond to something real quick. I did that on purpose. You want to know why? Because for all week, what I saw on Twitter is all these guys that I'm referring to not tagging anyone.
Oh no!
How about you guys step up and start tagging people before I do?
Well, no one will tag.
No, they don't have the balls to tag anyone on Twitter. They just go on and talk all this shit and use all these names like we don't know who they're talking about. Start tagging people. That's why I said it the way I said it, because I knew it was gonna trigger people. And you guys are so easy to trigger. That's why I said it. That's why I grouped everyone in. You guys start tagging people, and I'll be specific too.
Yeah, tag me up. Let me know what's up. I want to know what you guys are thinking about me. But I promise you, if you did a sacrifice for a layer 1 that doesn't have a real time frame yet, I will probably make you want to cry. And I will embarrass you bad. I will never do it to someone who has a good point with real integrity and a floor under them. But if someone accepted over $1 million for something and they want to start throwing little jabs, I will throw a fucking elbow right at your jaw.
And that's my issue. You guys want, like, these guys on Twitter want to act tough and all this other stuff, but don't have the balls to tag anyone. And then want to get upset at us when we group you guys into a fucking group.
And then I tag,
Start tagging.
I tag. I quote it. I love quoting something stupid about me because they didn't tag me. And then at the top, I'm like, how'd your sacrifice go, jackass? I've been teaching everyone for 200 days for free and I don't have a boss. So good for you, buddy. And then they're like, but didn't you get hacked from your secretary? I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to do anything. Like,
you
understand?
correct.
Like,
yeah.
I can do anything. Like, I went to That's real freedom. You want that first, Sam. That's the truth. And Sam taught me that one. Sam said, before you get the money, you got to get out of this bitch. More here, but like it's here, but like it's everything. But anyway, guys, have an amazing day. I do love and respect all the guys that are looking for intellectual integrity. But just like in my real life, if someone comes half-assed, I get right in their face. Or I never speak to them again or walk in the room that they're in because I will not let my brain is very valuable to me. I need to harvest good vibes and energies and good knowledge. And when someone really smart or one has a lot of money says something and it changes the way I feel just because of some real facts I don't know, that's not how I roll. I'll say I'll do another 3 hours of research. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll call you tomorrow. So anyway, guys, Crypto in the Morning live every single day. I'll be back in an hour and 15. I'm excited about the Fed meeting. I'm excited about crypto. I think everything's super bullish. I think you should buy other things and not only buy one thing. Sam, you got any closing words?
I'm looking forward to, I was just typing this in the chat. I'm looking forward to focusing more on crypto. I've had a lot of stuff going on outside of crypto that I've been putting a lot of attention on, and I haven't been putting a lot of attention on crypto. And I'm working.
He's not all in.
I was like, what the hell?
He's all in.
Putting more time into crypto, and because I haven't been really focused on crypto that much.
I need your help. I need your help with the study.
I promise you this, Sam. Tomorrow we're gonna focus on crypto.
Yes.
What's going on tomorrow?
I don't know, but we're gonna focus on crypto.
Oh, I'm locked the fuck in. I got no friends. I got nothing. I'm here. Well, Bullish was sick. Sam's been working overtime, and I have been isolated. But I will not let anyone else's information get in unless it's like Vitalik or like some devs on some shit. Like even John McCoy slid in there, and I did learn some stuff from that stream, which I liked. But I also learned that bias will always win if you do not take care of your emotional fitness, guys. Have an amazing day. Crypto in the morning. What an honor to be in this show. Smash the like. We love everyone. Keep it up. And if a man can't get checked, he ain't no man. So get it.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning, 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 Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning.